what do you have on the state of the American League West with the Mariners not figuring out how to win games on the road, the Rangers having a lane and not really taking it, and then Houston gaining a little bit of separation here?
Yeah, I mean, I think with Seattle, I want to know who did this schedule. Like, are you kidding me? You get to the dog days of August, and you're going to put them on the road for 10 days from August 12th to the 20th to play Baltimore, New York, and Philadelphia. And then you're going to send them right back on the road for another 9 games on the East Coast in Cleveland, Tampa, and Atlanta. I mean, who does that? Seattle already always has the worst travel schedule of any team in Major League Baseball by far. We know that. But then you're going to get to the dog days of August and do that to them twice? Like, come on. That scheduling just, it isn't right. And look, I'm not making excuses, but I kind of am because that's tough. That's a grind on players. And look, the big boys last 30 days haven't gotten it done. We get that. Cal Raleigh's hitting 211. Eugenio Suarez hitting 204, Randy Arozarena 209 over the last 30 days, and 3/5 of their rotation not getting it done, right? Louis Castillo's ERA is 7.88, George Kirby's is 5.23, and Logan Gilbert 4.62 over their last 5 starts, each of them. So yeah, your star players aren't performing like they have, but I'm telling you, this schedule has really hurt them. I think when they settle back and they're done the Atlanta series and they get home, I think you'll see them start to turn things around. Now, for Texas, I think they would have made the playoffs had they not had ridiculous injuries to their star players. Their ace, Nathan Eovaldi, who was actually in the conversation with Tariq Skubal and Garrett Crochet for Cy Young, goes down for the year, and they lose him. Then their 2 most expensive players, Corey Seager and Marcus Semien, join them. They're out for the year. And then Evan Carter, their young stud who never got going last year because of injuries, they lose him with a fracture too. So, you look at the Texas Rangers, they're going to fall short, but 4 key guys they lose for the stretch, and they were within striking distance. And so then in terms of Houston, yeah, they're going to be able to hold on. They're going to be able to win this division once again, which, by the way, is miraculous when you consider losing Bregman, losing Tucker, and then losing Alvarez for a lot of the season, Jeremy Pena for a lot of the season. For them to be sitting here and winning the division anyway, great job by GM Dana Brown and manager Joe Espada. They deserve a lot of credit.
You get the whole AL West to choose from. Do you take any of them to even make the World Series, let alone win the World Series? Or is this, of the divisions, a division that you're like, nah, it's a pillow fight out there, and when they play the better teams, they're all going to be out of it?
Yeah, I think Seattle can run the table. If they're pitching and playing up to performance, I think they have the rotation. I think they have the impact closer. And I certainly think they have enough offense now with the pickups that they did at the trade deadline, getting Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez from Arizona. Cal Raleigh's going to finish first or second in the MVP voting. Randy Arozarena is having the best year of his career. J-Rod's doing what he always does, which is rake in the second half of the year. I look at Seattle, and again, it comes down to starting pitching. And right now, 3/5 of the rotation not getting it done. But they have a lot of talent in that rotation. So if I was to pick one of the teams in the West to see could they run the table come October, yeah, I think Seattle could.
Hey, before we get to Framber and throwing balls at teammates, I want to ask you: Did you watch the Mariners game last night against the Rays? They fell behind 6-0, and George Kirby chucked one right at Lowe. Oh, it's not Brandon Lowe.
Josh.
Nate Lowe.
Josh
Lowe. Sorry, there was too many Lows and Lows on the Rays forever. So, but he hits them like. How do you? I mean, is that just something that happens? Because the Rays broadcast went after him. I mean, Brian Anderson and not Callis. Is it Callis? No. The guy for the
Stotts.
Dwayne Stotts went after. We were like, hey, you don't be throwing dude. Like, is this a thing still in baseball where you get mad and you just chuck a ball? I'm not accusing Kirby, but it looked pretty bad.
Did you hear him post game too? By the way,
no.
Yeah, it looked really bad. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Look, I don't mind a pitcher getting frustrated when hitters are leaning over, and you want to knock them back a little bit to get them off the plate so they don't lean over like that. I'm okay with that. But when you're frustrated because they're hitting you and it's on you, then I've never liked that or appreciated that.
Agreed. Okay, now we'll go to Framber. By the way, what Kirby say post game?
He was just saying he was pitching inside. I'm looking to get it. He said it's baseball. They called an inside heater.
That's
tried to throw it in.
How come nobody ever just says, you know what? I chucked one at the dude because I was pissed.
Cole Hamels did. Cole Hamels did. He got suspended 5 games.
That's why you don't say it.
I know,
but you lose money.
Yeah,
that's right.
And he's not
and
rich
he gets
yet.
suspended. So, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, smart. So smart of these guys. But all right, now let's go to the Framber situation, Jim. Have you ever been on a team where something like this has happened? Someone's accused of trying to intentionally hurt a guy on his own team. Not that we're saying that happened, but people are talking about this. Of course, Framber comes out, no, it wasn't intentional. Have you ever seen anything like this?
I've never seen anything like it at the major league level. I have seen it at the minor league level. When I was a farm director, I saw it, unfortunately. But I've never seen it at the big league level like that. And the body language was absolutely terrible. I mean, to me, it looked totally intentional. And I think it's hard to kind of defend, because if it was a communication thing, I think right after it happened, I thought Valdez would walk towards the catcher and immediately, have a conversation, which he didn't. He just turned around and looked out into center field. So it looked intentional. It was disgusting. If I was the catcher, I would have popped him one.
All right. Well, you're a GM that's looking at a starting pitcher in the free agency market. Are you completely, because of this one action and I guess some other immature things he's done in his career, are you avoiding it, or are you at least saying, you know what, I'd still take Framber, but for X amount less?
Yeah, I'm signing him for exactly what I would have signed him before this incident. We're talking about a guy that's a 3-time All-Star that has finished top 10 Cy Young 3 years in a row. He's got 12 wins right now with a 3 ERA. I got to cover him, watch him win a World Series. I like winning World Series. I'm okay signing him. Before I sign him, I want to have the conversation with him about what happened, look him in the eye, talk about the incident, because certainly that is something that's completely unacceptable and wrong. Would have explained to him that if he was on my team when that happened, I would have suspended him without pay, even if I was in a pennant race. And that's something that's just unacceptable, and we're not going to go forward with that. But that being said, do I want to sign him? Sure. You know how hard it is to get pitchers that finish top 10 in Cy Young every single year? They're really hard to get. And I really like winning. And the best starting pitching normally gets to play in October. So, yeah, I would absolutely sign him despite the incident. But I certainly would go through the incident with him, communicate. I like to hear what he had to say off the record, behind the scenes, whatever, see if he owns up on it. But, yes, I would sign him anyway. And, no, I would not say you have to take a discount, because in the free agent market, he doesn't have to take a discount. He's going to get whatever the market says. GMs are going to sign Framber Valdez because, yes, he's that good at pitching.
JB, do you think that he should have publicly apologized versus denying that there was any intent? Because it's not just about him doing that publicly versus privately. What happens is teammates, your manager, everyone has to answer and back you up, even though everyone knows what really happened.
Yeah, I think you're always better being transparent. I think you're always better off saying, I did it, I was frustrated, it's inexcusable, I apologize to the catcher, I'm sorry to my teammates, and then own it and then go forward. That's the best way to handle situations like that, in my opinion.
FT fam, designer clothes can be expensive, but we want our clothes to look good, we want to feel good, we want them to be affordable. And Kratz, if you tell me that I can wear a t-shirt that looks like it's tailored, but it's not actually tailored, and it just comes that way, then sign me up for True Classic.
Have to. You got to sign up for it, because these shirts are soft, they're thin, they're durable, and they're very versatile. You can wear them to the gym. You can wear them out to a nice dinner. Let's get after it, because these shirts are the real deal.
They are. Check it out. I've got one of the performance ones. It's a nice blue, fits well. I can go to the gym. I can go out. I can do FT in a shirt like this. FT fam, there's a reason why True Classic has sold over 25 million shirts to more than 5 million customers, and they are racking up over 200,000 5-star reviews. See for yourself with our exclusive link at trueclassic.com/foul to save. That's trueclassic.com/FOUL. Have your thoughts changed at all with the Roman Anthony injury? And I saw a quote from Alex Cora telling him that he should visualize an at-bat in the ALCS. And to me, that means they don't expect him to return until the ALCS if they get there.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, it's a huge blow. What a great rookie. What a young, budding superstar we're talking about. And to me, it's amazing that the Red Sox have lost 3 of their best young players for the foreseeable future, and Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer and Wilyer Abreu, which people aren't talking about enough, because you would think either Anthony or Abreu should be in right field instead of Sogard. So it's been a huge setback for Boston. Obviously, if they get to the playoffs and the oblique has a chance to get healthy, yeah, of course you want them out there. And look, Boston's going to get to the playoffs because they've been able to figure out their 4 of their top starting pitchers. You know, Garrett Crochet is going to finish second to Tariq Skubal in terms of the Cy Young voting. Brian Bayo, since he put that cutter into his repertoire, has been great since June. Lucas Giolito has proven that the brace procedure for Tommy John is going to work going forward. That's been huge for the medical industry, not just for Giolito and the Red Sox. And Peyton Tolley, when he came up, wow, was that David Wells or was that David Wells? So Boston's looking there with 4 good starters. They extended their closer, Aroldis Chapman, who now has finally figured out that you don't have to go out and drink and smoke cigars all night. And so he's figured out that, oh, I can have command and control. So look, Boston's going to get there despite these injuries. I think they're going to have a hard time moving on in the playoffs, to be honest. I don't know if that lineup is going to be good enough, but I know one thing. Alex Cora is one of the best managers in baseball, and he always overachieves. But it's been great to watch Roman Anthony, without a doubt. He's going to be a superstar for years to come. I'm glad the Red Sox were able to sign him at the numbers Craig Breslow was able to do. And Boston, look, they're going to be a wild card team, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully Anthony will get healthier quicker than the timetable.
Jim, aren't they happy they signed Anthony and Campbell and some of these guys, Chapman, to these extensions? Now they're all hurt. One's in the minors, one's hurt, and the other one has figured it out. So good job, Red Sox.
Yeah, but
good job.
But keep in mind, AJ, like, the savings isn't on the front end of any of these contracts. The savings in the back end. And the control of their free agent years are there. So, you know, injuries are part of the game. It's going to happen. It's been unfortunate that it's happened at the level it has for Boston. But they're going to save money on all these deals when it's all said and done.
Hey, it's like USC before NIL. They were just paying guys, just no one knew about it, right? Well, I mean,
everyone was.
I mean, Reggie Bush. Oh, wait, Reggie Bush? No, wait, sorry. Excuse me. I mean, wrong sport. Got to go back to baseball. Who do you trust more? Who do you trust more right now? The Red Sox and where they're at, or the Yankees bullpen and what they've been doing? Because they have just turned into a complete, not what we thought. Because remember at the trade deadline, they were like, oh my gosh, the Yankees might have one of the best bullpens of all time. And Devin Williams, Weaver, Doval last night doesn't understand fastball in his ear. I mean, it's like, what the heck is happening to the Yankees bullpen?
Yeah, I mean, all year, what are they? Their bullpen is 21st in team ERA with 21 blown saves this year. I mean, yeah, it's been a total disaster. But, you know, you look over the last couple of weeks, they do have 3 relievers in general that have pitched well: David Bednar, Luke Weaver, and Fernando Cruz. Bednar's ERA is 1.69 his last 9 appearances. Weaver's is 2.13 in his 11, and Cruz is 1.69 in his last 5. So, you know, they do have 3 guys there. They don't have a lot of depth in the bullpen like we thought the Yankees were going to have. But look, this is a league where teams are filled with pimples, and some are going to pop and some are not going to pop at the end of the day. Yankees, you know, they've got a chance. You know, I think we're going to learn a lot about the Yankees here over the next 9 games. They took advantage of the easy schedule, but all year they've struggled against the good teams. They struggle against Toronto. They struggle against Boston. Well, now they have a run of having to play the division leaders in the league, and we're going to find out about the New York Yankees. We're going to find out, in my opinion, how good they are. So we'll have to sit, watch, see how that goes. It's certainly been a very inconsistent year for them, but there is no dominant team in the American League, and we have to keep that in mind.
How much do you, as a front office, get into Boone's ear? Because I know the Yankees front office really pushes a lot of stuff like this, of using Devin Williams in the sense of, hey, we got to use him. He needs to be a big part of this playoff bullpen. Or is it something that what he's done already for the 5 months washes out anything that I'm thinking I can use him for the playoffs?
Yeah, I've always been a big believer in what the Hall of Famer Joe Torre's philosophy always was. I'm going with a hot hand at all times. When I get down to September and I go into October, I could care less what Baseball Reference or Fangraph says about what you've done in the past. I don't even care. I care what my eyeballs are seeing. I care about what your eyeballs are looking me in the eye and what you look like when you're on top of the bump. And I just want to win games. And I could care less what your history is. I want the best guys out there, period. And that's what I would be conveying to to Aaron Boone, the manager, if I was in the front office. Like, here's the analytics we have to provide for you. Here's our opinion of what we think, but you're the manager. Trust your eyes and put the best guy in to win. Don't worry about contracts. Don't worry about history. Just get out there and give us the best shot to win every single out, every single pitch.